Hey everybody, thanks for checking out this World of Tanks video, and thanks for playing World of Tanks. Here in the Warlord here, it's a vehicle I really like. You notice there at the beginning I almost muted the guy. If you missed that, go ahead and run back and take a look. It's turns out to be an interesting thing, have some interesting ramifications for later on in the match, but not a huge deal. On this map here, standard match, you notice I'm going to start off here by focusing on the middle of the map. Now in these wide open space maps, which is maybe to say not something with a lot of really tall buildings and stuff. This wide open space match here, wide open space map, I think it is really relevant to be able to focus on the the center part of the map pretty early. You see there's a enemy heavy right there in the middle of the map. That's a nice target. That Tiger 1, not exactly the best hull armor in the game, or even for that tier. So it's a really cool target there. Tier 6 medium tank. I think this is a tier 7 match. I think there are some tier 7 vehicles. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's tier 7 top. But anyway, I think the middle of the map on these wide open maps is really good space to kind of look at the beginning. A lot of times you'll catch someone in a fast light tank or maybe a medium tank just kind of running around out in the open, and you can get some early shots on that guy. Maybe take away some of the spotting ability for the enemy team. It's really valuable. I think one of the worst things in the world in playing these matches is to have an enemy team that has one or more light tanks, and on your team you have none because they went out and got themselves killed. It's really tough. All of a sudden you're getting shot from enemies that you can't see, and wherever you go it seems like you're getting lit up and getting shot up, and you just can't find the enemy vehicles without just driving into that fire. Those light tanks provide a huge advantage for the team, especially in these open maps. Now here I shift position, also maintain safety. You see I'm kind of staying by this ridge over to the right there, and making sure I don't just roll out into the open too much. Trying to get fire on these reds. And now here, you see me kind of backing up there, making sure that I'm staying back behind that cover as much as I can while still having a line of fire on the enemy vehicles that are running around out in the open. Keep an eye on that map. That's one of the things that I'm doing. If I'm not aiming and firing my gun, I'm making sure that I've got cover from any enemy vehicles that are out there. Part of that's just kind of knowing the maps and knowing the cover, but another part of it is paying attention to the mini map down in the corner, making sure that nothing's coming up on me, and just kind of generally following the pattern of the vehicles. You see down there at like JK3 right now, three enemy vehicles and a destroyer like H2, heavy at F4. That's worth noticing right now. A lot of these guys up here in the northeast corner we've pretty much eliminated. And right here I'm trying to get a shot on this guy. Just kind of got frustrated about giving a shot up on my own hit points. I decided it's not worth waiting for that guy to get back out in the open because I'm up there in the air. My soft hull up there nice and exposed for enemy fire. I decided it's not worth the wait. Come back down, reposition. Now notice anybody we had down in the far south spotting up those enemies that I noticed at like JK3. Any ally we had down there spotting those guys up is now gone. Either they moved or they have been eliminated. You notice I'm just kind of moving back and forth here, more or less. In front of our spawn area, in front of our capture point area, as opposed to like say pushing north or pushing west in the map. I'm just kind of going back and forth, making sure that I'm catching any enemies that seek to push into our spawn, seek to push into our capture point, or outflank us, outmaneuver us, get behind us, get on our sides, and that kind of thing. And again, right here I'm looking to make sure those 3 or 4 vehicles that were out of that corner aren't moving this way, getting back behind our guys, taking us by surprise, that kind of thing. And right here, this guy, right there, Arab Gunner 69, he was calling me out, basically asking me to go back him up because of that heavy that we had seen earlier at like F3, and I was like, actually, dude, I'm in a good position here. There were some enemies down there in that corner. I just want to make sure that I spot them up. I was like, if you need to back up, but I'm in a good position right here. He's like, okay, I'll back up. At this point, I'm like, yeah, I'm falling back rather than staying visible to the enemies and getting shot. I'm gonna fall back. These two heavies right here, these two tigers, basically sitting up on this hill, not really moving. I was basically saying to him, I'm gonna fall back here and bring these enemy vehicles to these two heavies that don't seem wanting to move their vehicles. If they're not gonna move to the enemies, I will bring the enemies to them. It's really common for me to say that I think maintaining ally support is a really key feature to doing well in this game. It's tough to get 15 kills or anywhere close to that. Even if a person does get really close to it, or otherwise just gets a lot of kills, it's very rare that person is doing all of that damage themselves, or not shooting some of the enemy vehicles that are distracted by their allies or whatever. Ally support is a big part of the game. It's an important thing to keep in mind, important thing to kind of work toward. So I pulled those enemy vehicles back to those heavies. Of course, that destroyer, he relocated back to share their position, and we managed to successfully pull at least a couple of those heavies back, or a couple of those enemies back, and eliminate them from the map. At this point here, you're going to see a couple of enemy vehicles get lit up. I was kind of trying to figure out where they're at, and ultimately we do. The destroyer back behind us there, at least back behind me. And another one will pop up here in a moment or two, but I go ahead and turn around and focus on this destroyer. For one thing, I don't want him to capture the base, but for another thing, he's basically got a flank on, kind of a backside flank on my allies up on the hill. Those two heavies. One of those heavies comes down, and at this point, you notice that for a while now, I haven't been located by the enemy vehicles. I have the sixth sense, which indicates when the enemy team is aware of your location. That hasn't come up for me for a while, so I know that they don't know that I'm here right now until right about now. And this guy realizes now that he's got an enemy behind him. Got him tracked. He's sitting still. Keep him tracked with this nice reload that the Warlord has, and managed to get the last bit of his hit points there. And you notice my ally heavy had come up toward his other side, so we had a nice pincer flank going on there. Good team action there, good teamwork. Appreciate that effort that he put forward there, that basically kept that destroyer pointing his gun his way while I came behind him and then tracked him and finished him off in a way that was really secure for me. The light tank was over there, that heavy tank's near him apparently. So I was kind of coming back down, trying to find that light in a way that I was able to maintain the support of those ally heavies right there without, isolating myself, giving that light tank an opportunity to circle around me, and without the support of those two ally heavies for me. But he pretty much just stayed in the exact same spot, didn't relocate, so we were just able to find him and shoot him pretty easily. It's kind of another example of what not to do there, just kind of sitting in the same spot, especially as a light tank. When you're a light tank, the only real weapons you have against the enemy vehicles, enemy team, are mobility and view range, spotting range. If you're not using both of those to your fullest advantage, you're doing more to help the enemy team than you are doing to help yourself or your allies. It's best to stay mobile in whatever kind of vehicle you're in. It's best to, once the enemy team gets a sense of where you're at, it's usually a good idea to, if you don't necessarily want to engage the enemy from that position, or if it seems like it's not a helpful position to be in, or whatever the case is, it's generally a good idea just to relocate and stay relocated. If they know where you're at, you don't have advantage, don't have safe shots on the enemy vehicles from that position. Back up, get safe, get unspotted, undetected, relocate, move to a different position, so that the enemy vehicles don't know to expect you there, and then do your best to find a way to get some shots from that new position without getting shot up yourself. And if that doesn't work out, if you don't have safe shots from that second position, relocate again. Maybe just go back to where you were at. Maybe there's a good spot later on. Whatever the case is, relocating is a good thing to do. Alright guys, thanks for checking out this World of Tanks video, and thanks for playing World of Tanks.